It was an ordinary Thursday morning at a remote shooting range, tucked into the hills just outside of Quantico. The gravel crunched beneath her boots as she walked steadily to Lane 7, clutching a weathered black range bag. Nobody paid her much attention at first. She looked like any other civilian, plain olive jacket, jeans, hair tied back in a loose ponytail. Mid-30s maybe, quiet, no drama, nothing flashy. Just a simple woman here to shoot. The range was mostly empty. That day, a few guys in flannel and trucker hats were tinkering with their AR-15s. A young couple taking turns with a rented pistol. Nothing out of the ordinary, but across 3 lanes, standing with his arms crossed and sunglasses fixed firmly on his face, was Commander Luke Harlan. Navy SEAL, retired, with 22 years of service and a reputation that traveled ahead of him like a storm. He was here overseeing some advanced tactical drills for private contractors. No-nonsense, sharp eyes. The kind of man who notices everything. He barely glanced at her at first. Just another person who would shoot a few boxes of ammo and leave. But something made him watch a little closer. Maybe it was the way she laid out her gear. Smooth, practiced, precise. Maybe it was how she checked her surroundings, scanning. Angles, distances, backdrops. It wasn't just habit, it was instinct. The kind you don't pick up from YouTube tutorials or weekend warrior classes. It was muscle memory, battlefield memory. Then she pulled out her pistol. Not some off-the-shelf Glock or standard-issue SIG. It was a custom-built Kimber 1911, matte black with subtle wear on the edges. A shooter's weapon, a veteran's weapon. She held it like it was part of her. Loaded it without even looking down. Ejected the mag, reinserted, racked the slide. A smooth dance of motion, fast and fluid. Commander Harlan squinted behind his glasses. She stepped into the lane, took a steady stance, and then boom. Center mass again. Boom, again, boom. A tight group, barely an inch apart, controlled, purposeful, no flinching, no overcorrection. She adjusted nothing because there was nothing to adjust. Every shot landed exactly where she meant it to. He took a few steps forward. Watch closer now. She transitioned to a double-tap rhythm, then started moving slightly side to side. Controlled movement, tactical breathing. Everything about her screamed training, but not civilian, not police, military, high dash level. She stopped for a moment, reached up, and brushed a strand of hair. Behind her ear, her sleeve shifted, just enough, and that's when it happened. That's when Commander Harlan froze. His sunglasses came off slowly. His eyes narrowed, and for a moment, just a moment, the composed mask of the SEAL commander cracked. There, inked in black and faded green on the inside of her forearm, was a tattoo. Not big, not flashy, just a small trident. The SEAL insignia, but not just any version. It was modified, subtle tweaks only someone deep in the teams would recognize. Around it were coordinates and a date, the coordinates to a classified operations site. The date matched an op that never officially happened, one he had been on, when only a handful of people survived. He stepped forward. "You serve?" he asked, careful, direct. She didn't look up at first, just kept reloading, calmly. "Once," she said, voice steady. "Long time ago." He pointed at the tattoo. "That's not a once kind of symbol." She looked up finally. Her eyes locked onto his, and suddenly the noise of the range seemed to fall away. "I was Ghost Squadron," she said softly. His breath caught. Ghost Squadron wasn't public, wasn't even listed in most classified files. It was an experimental unit, a blend of SEALs, Delta, CIS, operators, missions. So black, they burned the records afterward. And they didn't let just anyone in. No, you had to be chosen. He stared at her, trying to process it. He had heard the rumors that there was a female operator in Ghosts, that she'd saved a unit during a botched hostage rescue in Syria, that she'd vanished after the operation went south. The brass said she died, but some whispered she had. Walked away. "You were in Damascus." "Hotel Alpha," she nodded. "I watched that place burn from the next rooftop," he whispered. She gave a half smile. "I was inside." For the first time in years, Commander Harlan felt like a rookie again. She turned back to the range, aimed again, fired. The shots landed tight and smooth, muscle memory of a ghost still walking among civilians. "Why'd you leave?" he asked. She didn't answer right away, just ejected the mag and looked at it like it held all the weight in the world. "When the mission is done," she said, "some of us stay behind, some of us come home, and some of us disappear." He nodded slowly. There was a code in that answer, one only someone who'd lived in the dark corners of the world would understand. She packed up quietly. The range session was over. Just like that, he stood there, silent, watching her walk away down the gravel path toward a dusty truck with plates covered in mud and a bumper sticker that read nothing but the numbers 6-4-3. Another code. Another mystery. And then she was gone. The men in the lanes kept shooting. The young couple kept laughing. Nobody noticed anything had happened. But Commander Harlan stood there, unmoving. For a long time after, he hadn't just seen a shooter that day. He had seen a ghost, a legend, a woman whose story was never written in any book, but who had lived more than most men ever would. And he realized something else too. Sometimes the deadliest person at the range isn't the loudest, or the flashiest, or the biggest. Sometimes she walks in quiet and leaves quieter, but those who know, really know, will never forget her. Ever.